Irurame tirumbize, Biriya baba wedu. Irurame tirumbize, Biriya baba wedu. Irurame tirumbize, Biriye kudenga. Isu tirurame tirumbize, Biriya baba wedu. Irurame tirumbize, Biriye kudenga. Wana baba tirurame tirumbize, Biriya baba wedu. Ya Yemeni. Hello Zimbabwe, hope I find you well. Welcome to social democracy from the perspective of Metatrons as we tap into the Metatronic vortex frequency, decoding that frequency for permanent social contract. Social contract yedu recognize Zimbabwe as a kingdom nation, Zimbabwe as a state, Zimbabwe as a country. Saka the trajectory after independence 1980 demands that we keep pushing upwards from the parliamentary perspective of the bishopry under triumviracy, the premiership triumviracy, to the senatorial presidium, triumviracy, to the 7-member State of Zimbabwe Israel Anglo-Canadian estate in our kingdom manifest, as we redeem Canaan from the jaws of Nephilims through the Abrahamic order, which gives us the Davidic throne for the institution of Emmanuel. The institution of Emmanuel defeats the baby behemoth for us using 1:5 return ratio yekumaso wechishanu. Kurava kuti tabva muchishanu zvino nokuti takundirwa nababa Emmanuel, taakupinda kunyenye dzinomwe dzino constitute a state. State is constituted around the 7th cardinal star inouya ichinzi forerunner waishe Jesu anonzi Elia, and the 5th principality inobva yava the vessel in Zimbabwe. That vessel inonga ichicharacterize Metatronic Elia with the same order of Melchizedek recognize Enoch as the founding father, patriarch and progenitor of our genotype in the pyramidic order of our matrimonial trinity as obtaining in Zimbabwe. Saka zvakamera sokudaro yanguva yakuti tichirumura vana Murambwe from Murambwe to Gurundoro. Kureva kuti haimbonzi Murambwe kare yakunzi Gurundoro because of the title Commander-in-Chief, which aligns well with Gurundoro. Gurundoro zichingoreva ndoro hombe. Saka tichitaura nezvana Gurundoro takutaura nezve the Monombutapa biocardinal stable inenge ina senatorial priesthood Cardinal Senator Douglas Ngonzora, and the return ratio 1:7 for the fullness of Christianity in our Christian supplication endeavor. Saka we are ratifying a Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3, which is CAB 3, the adoption of 1:7 return ratio, which is senatorial, is commissioned by our Metatron Enoch in base 11 as our anchored bridge, anchoring the institution of Elijah in base 10, Chasm, and the institution of Elijah in base 12, Super Chasm. Super Chasm, Elijah, Daniel, John the Apostle and St. Ignatius. Base 10 Chasm, we talk of Elia, we talk of Andrea, we talk of the institution of Jeremiah and the institution of Paul, with the institution of the bishopry as identified with Paul's bishop called Julius Part. Saka zvakamira sokudaro, nyaya yedu iri kupfuurira mberi yekuti tizive zvakaita Gurundoro wanhasi, Dr. E.D. Munangagwa, aligning himself well with the depiction of seven member states as represented by seven supplicator generals identified with the scarf ya baba wedu, commander-in-chief, head of state, dean of 7 member states, and chancellor of all faculties. He is the chancellor of the physical faculty from the Patriotic Front, is endorsed in 2018. He is the chancellor of the mental faculty, is endorsed by all chiefs, the paramount chiefs. Then chancellor of the spiritual faculty is endorsed by the supplicators in principality of supplicator general St. Ignatius, whose institution includes our Catholic Jesuit Dr. Constantino Guvech Wenger, who then was instructed to invite Murambwe, from Murambwe to Gurundoro, Gurundoro meaning commander-in-chief. We are unpacking what happened in 2017 before the commissioning of return ratio 1:7 from 2018 to 2025, ratified as such through CAB 3, Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3, in ratifying the return ratio, which is senatorial, for the completeness of Chimurenga, as our Chimurenga pathway is now vortexed in the Monomotapa vortex, where our Chimurenga Presidium is then promoted, as already alluded to, from the leadership to the rulership, with each ruler being given a leader in as office order. In Murambwe, we have got Simboti. In Mukanya, we have got Advocate Nelson Chamisa. In Kenero Mohad, we have got the institution of Musengawanu Elia, the 5th E principality, as already alluded to. Saka Murambwe is now our chancellor of the triune testimonial faculties, chancellor of the physical faculty, spiritual faculty, and mental faculty. Then as such, he is also dean of 7 member states constituting a bloc called Zimbabwe Israel Anglo-Canadian Eastern Kingdom Nation, to be used to redeem humanity, crossing over humanity through the angered bridge. Simboti in the institution of Enoki base 11, as already alluded to, with the Elia base 10, in the institution of Andrea, and Erija base super chasm, the institution which we find Ignacio, our Christian deity. Those are zvakaita pamitumbi mitatu, zuva Erija, mwedzi Eria, nyenyedzi Enoki, sezvazvakaita